Distinguished alum, Mr. Austin Cows.
This is delightfully weird. Roger, you ever thought I'd be up here? Nah, that's quite a run. Well, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Thanks for using the word distinguished, even though I'm not sure if it really applies. I just bought this coat at a thrift store yesterday, so I don't know if distinguished is the right word. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to faculty and the Board of Education and the class of 2015 for asking for me to be your speaker. The most surprising phone call of 2015, hands down. If you're not sure why I'm here, don't worry. I'm not either. I hope I do all right with this for your guys' sake, because if I bomb this, they may take the diplomas back, and then we're all kind of screwed. I'm just kidding. Owen called me. His dad's a superintendent. We're fine. I can only assume that I was asked to speak here today because of my outstanding academic performances, my study habits, my success with the opposite sex, and of course, my outstanding contribution to the field of athletics. You're welcome. I have a lot of pressure to do this because Craig Fonder, my former English teacher, drilled English into me, did this last year. And I was going to cave and just print off his speech, but my printer ran out of paper. The school district ran out of paper. I don't want to be mean, but he just finished that speech 2 hours ago. He is exhausted. Oh, that felt good. It's an honor to be here. I suppose I'm supposed to give you some sort of advice. It's weird that you're there and not here, because I'm going to direct advice that parents might not even like while looking at them in the eye, so this will be a fun challenge. Here goes. People are going to tell you to grow up. I'm here to tell you, don't. Don't grow up. There's too much wonder and excitement out there to grow up, at least in the way that most people suggest it. When people tell you to grow up, they think that they're telling you to be independent, which is good, or they want the best for you. Sometimes they just might want you to get out of their house. Taking care of your life is good. Growing up in that way is good. Growing up means taking care of your money. I mean, debt sucks. Student loan debt sucks. Credit cards are the worst. I have paid $18 in interest on a taco. Don't do that. Yeah, if that's growing up, do that. But there are a lot of things to do as you mature. You're going to figure those out, but I'm going to tell you this. When people give you advice, it's often to kind of achieve their goals and not yours. Many people's definition of growing up is to go with the flow and get with the times and act your age and all sorts of things that people have told me in this town my entire life. Growing up, that kind of grow up means being dependent on someone else's definition of success. That's someone else's priorities. That's essentially like putting on someone else's underwear and pretending that you're not completely confused and disgusted. Don't do that. Trust me. I put trust me in here and then I realized that sounds like I have been wearing other people's underwear. I assure you I have not. Thrift store, brand new. A lot of people will say that because they tell you to grow up because they had a different definition of happiness than you do, or worse, they had the same definition of happiness, they just never went after it. They never did anything about it. That's terrible. Now don't mistake not growing up with stagnation, because you're going to find, especially if you go to certain colleges, I'm not going to mention Go Yotes, people don't want to conform, they just want to sit. They want to shirk responsibility, and they want to quote movies, and they want to talk about doing things that they're never ever going to do. You can resist a system, and I totally think you should, but you better be sure you're making your own, because otherwise you're just going to become a punchline to a sad joke. And everyone in this world is better than that. It's just that some people live their whole life without ever figuring it out. So with that in mind, don't grow up. Do your thing. As you go through school and this graduation and life, you're going to find people who have this plan. You work a job, even if you hate it, and then you retire, and then you have fun. That sounded terrible to me when I was sitting in those really expensive outfits a while ago. And it sounds terrible to me now. It's gambling. And at worst, you're going to miss out on everything and end up rocking in a soft chair full of foam and regret. And at best, you're going to gamble 50 years of your life to get 30 more, or 20 more, or 10 more, or none more. You don't know how short life is. It's something that old people say. I understand. But fellas, you're going to see a time when you start growing knuckle hair. And that's weird. You will start complaining about dental insurance. That's weird. But it's going to happen. You will look through the Truda Code, and here's a good way to gauge where you're at. You'll look in the Truda Code and you'll leave and you'll be like, oh, I remember going to school with them. And then you'll be like, I don't really recognize anybody in this paper anymore. And then you'd be like, holy crap, those are my friend's kids. Ooh, that'll get you worse than the knuckle hair, I promise. So, do your thing, go through this. I lost my spot because I started talking about knuckle hair. There's going to be a time when you lose some people you love, and that sense of mortality is going to kick in hard. It's not fun, but it happens. It's good. Just make sure you've got some accomplishments and some pursuits to comfort you when that happens. It'll make things a lot easier, I promise. Do you know how many times you're going to hear, what's your plan today? Of course you do. You've been hearing it for years. I think it starts when you're in 8th grade now. People love to ask you about the next step. And it's like the instruction to grow up. It might come from a well-meaning place, but it's not that well thought out. We spend so much time worrying about what's coming up that we forget to be present. So I'm here to tell you, be present. Be here, not there, and certainly not behind you. Be present in those moments. Because this will never be here again, and that's fine. That's good. When you get older, you're going to realize some scary words that come out of people's mouths as men. We're in high school, the best years of our life. No. I don't know what high school you were at, but they were not the best years of my life. There was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of bad haircuts and just a lot of rejection from the ladies. It is rough city. Rough city. You're never going to be here again, and that's fine. It's good. That used to stress me out, because I thought, what if it's never this good again? What if these people I'm hanging out with are never going to be around again? What if this job is what I'm doing until I die? What if this girl is the best I'll do? Well, don't worry about that stuff. Don't let it worry and petrify you, because it petrified me for a while. I worried so much about being a failure that I just froze and slowly started sliding down a slope to exactly what I was scared of. I was scared of failure, so I didn't do anything, and then I took one step closer to being that failure. Thankfully, bounced back. With some patience from some family over there, I have come up with ideas that have made Elton's eyebrows go so many times that all those wrinkles are me. That's not Adam. He was shooting hoops, and I'm like, I want to go to get a master's in 30-something. Fine. Thanks for being patient. There's a fine line between nostalgia and stagnation. So be careful of that world, because I promise you, your life right now is a series of amazing moments. And if you're going through bad times, learn from it and move through. Working a summer at the beef jerky factory was very inspiring to me. Dating, just bad shit. I'm a distinguished alumni. Sorry about that. Bat poop crazy. Ladies. My wife is going to appreciate this when I tell her. You thought your necktie was tight. Don't grow up. Just grow. Decide what you want to do. Go after it. Realize it's not your thing. Make a new plan. Fail at it. Learn from it and go. Be open to the fact that you might fail so miserably that stray dogs will avoid you in the street. And keep going. Measure your success by how rewarded you feel. Not by how much money you make or by what people who have never tried anything in their life have to say about what you're doing with yours. When you fail, don't stop. Analyze and plow forward. When you make a mistake, remember it so you don't make it again, and go charging forward with a grin on your face. Even if you just swore in front of the entire graduation. I sat across from a guy once. He was my age. I was talking with a buddy about how I'd just been to Chicago. Cool little trip. And he stopped eating, and he looked up, this kind of spaghetti hanging out of his face, and said, man, I wish I could go to Chicago. And he said it like I would say, man, I wish I could go to Jupiter. He's my age, and Chicago seemed like a different world to him. Don't be that way. I'm not here to judge his life, but that's why I bucked so hard when people told me how I was supposed to live mine. Because I could have ended up the guy who thought Chicago was a million miles away, when really, if you don't pay your cable bill for 2 months, you can go to Chicago. So don't grow up, just grow. Go to Chicago, or Europe, or Hill City, doesn't matter. There's something to learn and enjoy in every new place you step foot in. Now's the time for school, don't go. If you're not sure what you want to do, find a way to pay the bills legally. And make sure you're doing something that makes you better than you were yesterday. Growing up is for squares and zombies that remember every dream they had when it's too late to do anything about it. Today is your day, and this is your life. Don't settle. Travel, sing, yell, laugh, explore. Go have adventures, take care of yourself, your health, your finances, and take care of those people that helped you get here today and are going to stick with you even when you're going through those failures. They're valuable. They're important. Listen to what they have to say. You just don't have to do it if you don't want to. Challenge yourself so you won't be scared. Don't grow up, just grow. It has been a really bizarre honor to address you. Sorry about the language. Thank you very much.